Good afternoon. I'm Dana Parsons with Leading Age Virginia, and I'm so pleased that you're able to join us this afternoon to discuss the Java project, which is a grant that Leading Age Virginia was awarded through the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid through a civil monetary penalty grant. Essentially, the federal government has the ability to assess fines against nursing homes for violations of certain regulations. And when fines and fees are collected, that provides an opportunity for states to apply for these, what we call CMP funds. And we were very fortunate to apply for a grant and receive that grant for the Java project. It's been going so well, 2-year grant, and we are interested in applying again for the next cycle of CMP grants and want to provide some information. We are interested in applying for another grant to extend the Java project with additional nursing homes. So we are pleased to provide this informational session, which will provide information about the project and let you know in the event that you're interested in participating. There'll be some more information about how you can let us know. Nursing homes are eligible to participate if they are certified as through the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. And we're just really interested in sharing this opportunity with you. And if you're interested in participating, you can let us know. It doesn't obligate you, but we can pass this information along in our application to show CMS that nursing homes are interested in participating. And we'll get some more information about that. But at this time, I'll hand it over to the next presenter. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Christine Toyer. I'm founder and president of Java Group Programs, and I am so excited. I've had the privilege and the honor of working with Leading Age over the past 2 years with the Java project and with 30 homes, and it's been such an amazing journey together. And I wanted to give you like a little brief overview of what it's all about so you can get a taste of what the Java project is and why it might be of value to the quality of life of residents for you. So Dana already talked about Leading Age Virginia. So Leading Age Virginia is actually doing the grant application, and so the Java team is there to help support the trainings, etc. So the reason that the Java project is so important is, of course, because loneliness is an epidemic. It is everywhere. There have been all kinds of studies done now since the pandemic hit, and we know that anywhere from 56 to 96% of residents are struggling with chronic loneliness. That means every other resident that you pass in the hallway is feeling lonely. And we know that loneliness has such an impact on our health and our well-being. If you're lonely, you're more likely to get cancer. If you're lonely, you're more likely to get depressed. If you're lonely, you're more likely to have a heart attack. I mean, the statistics are just terrible. So we know that loneliness, we've always known that loneliness in itself is a terrible feeling, like to wake up every morning and think, I don't belong here. But, the impact that it has on our physical health is really important to know too. So I've written a paper about this, and you're welcome to download it. It's free. It's called The Need for a Social Revolution. And it's in the Journal of Aging Studies. And in it, the authors and I talk about this kind of relentless diet of entertainment and distraction that we have typically. I've worked in senior living for over 20 years. And, this idea, I'm talking about things like bingo, bus trips, bowling, movie nights, games. Those are all wonderful things. And I've been a part of implementing them too. But what we know is that loneliness has not been impacted by that. So in this paper, I talk about this need to kind of overturn this relentless diet of entertainment and distraction and make room for resident-to-resident peer support and peer mentoring, which is what the Java project is all about. So there's 3 programs in the Java project. The first is called the Java Music Club. And that is a peer support group. It's really the first standardized peer support group for senior living. And a group of residents meet every week. You can see this is a picture of a Java Music Club in action in a nursing home. And the facilitators have a host of materials that help them do the program. So there's 52 themes, there's photography, there's readings, there's 142 songs that are licensed that go with the program. And so they have everything at their fingertips that they need. And I remember one resident said to me, "Oh my God, thank God we finally have somewhere to talk about something other than what's for lunch." And that's what happens in these groups. The residents find that this is a safe place to share. And so they start talking about things that they can't talk about at movie nights or at bingos or on a bus trip. Like to say, for example, "I'm incredibly lonely." I've had a resident say that to me in a Java music club. It would be hard for them to say that during a bingo game. So I just wanted to show you some of the materials that you would get as a part of this grant. So just remember that all of this is at no cost to you. At the beginning of the grant, in the middle of the grant, after the grant, you get to keep all the program materials, which is so nice. So you get a big group manual with 52 themes and photos, as I said. There's a step-by-step guide that walks you through how to do a Java Music Club peer support group. And we also do a training, which you can actually sit in on a group and we kind of walk through step by step and you get to ask questions. There's a talking stick that gets used that helps quieter people who never share talk. There's a CD9 with forms. There's a training video. There's 8 large print songbooks. And there's a set of wind chimes. You can see them in the photograph there. They're beautiful wind chimes that sit in the middle of the table, and it starts and ends as getting centered practice. That's a part of the program. There's 8 CDs of 142 songs, like I mentioned. There's a facilitator's guide, rhythm sticks, a welcome sign. All of that comes in the Java Music Club. Now, Java Memory Care and Java Mentorship each have their own kit of materials like this, but they're focused on the program. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what the difference is. So the second program, so we would start the first program in the first 6 months. So Java Music Club, we would do a training. You would get the program materials shipped to you. And then we set up, sorry, not in that order. We ship the program materials first, and then we do the training. And then you would implement the program. And you would start with one group. Some homes we know have implemented 2 or 3 groups. It's really up to you. And so then the second program happens in the next 6 months. So you have a full 6 months to implement the first program. Second program is called Java Memory Care. And this is the same idea, resident to resident peer support, residents helping residents to reduce loneliness and social isolation. And I remember when we developed the Java Memory Care program, someone said to me, "Oh, Christine, surely you're not suggesting that people with advanced dementia can engage in peer support." And I said, "Oh my God, not only can they do it, but they're magnificent at it if you have the right supports in place." And that's what the Java Memory program does. It trains you and any staff that you want, any volunteers that are helping you, how to do peer support in small, intimate groups that we call Java Memory Care, also called Java Time. The third program is called Java Mentorship. So this is a separate program. So we would implement that in the second year. So after you've got Java Music and Java Memory going, then in the second year, we would ship out the program materials again to you, and you would start this third program called Java Mentorship. So the idea of this program is that we want to target the people that stay in their rooms. And I don't know about your particular community, but the ones that I've worked in the 20 years I've been doing this, it's typically the same 30% of residents that come to everything we do. And that other 70% is off in their rooms. And those are the people I used to worry about at night. I'd take them home with me. And so I thought, let's try something completely different. And so we got a group of residents and volunteers, family members. There's some students in this picture you can see, and they meet every week and they talk about who's lonely and isolated in our community. And so they volunteer to become what's called a mentor. And they have a team meeting. We've put together 26 education modules on how to be a great mentor. What do you do if you go visit someone and they don't talk much? What do you do? And so then they have the team meeting, and then they go out and they visit the residents. They have a list of 3 or 4 residents to visit. But they don't go alone, they pair up. So a higher functioning volunteer or a resident matched up with or another resident, and they go together and they visit those residents that have been identified, and they try to lure them in. They build a trusting relationship and then lure them into the Java Music Club or Java Memory programs. So you can see it's kind of like a whole model of peer support and peer mentoring, and we give you all the tools how to do that. with ease and grace. So I wanted to tell you just briefly about the science behind the Java project. Oh my goodness, we did some studies with communities that are like yours, and we found that the residents that participated in the Java programs, their loneliness and depression scores went down, and not just a little bit, what they call statistically significant. And then we saw an increase in the number of monthly programs attended by 60%. So that means those isolated residents that stay in their room are coming out of their rooms and getting engaged, not just in the Java programs, but also in other programs in the community. So it was really exciting. So you can know that if you implement this project, you will be getting the similar outcomes that we had in this study. So Java is now in over 1,600 communities across Canada and the United States. And so you'll really be joining a movement. And one of the things people often ask me about is, with a grant, is there a lot of reporting? Well, we found that the reporting is fast and easy. We get sent a link with some outcomes to fill out, and we help you with all of that. Some people have told me it took them a grand total of 10 minutes, not 10 seconds, 10 minutes to do the grant reporting. So I'm going to stop there because I'm going to pass it over to a wonderful person called Holly Hunt, who's going to share a little bit about their story as a part of the Java project.
Hello, everyone. How are you? When I first came to Windsor Mead 10 years ago, I wasn't here but 2 weeks before I realized that my father had dementia. So this is something that is, as I've explained to Christine, near and dear to me. And her program is wonderful because it really does reach out to those people that need a little extra help. And I'm a big fan, especially I told her of the mentorship program. I love, you can see this picture here. This is my friend John. And John is someone who has himself grown so much by this program. So John will go and he visits with our with our residents in memory care and also assisted living. And he has not only built a trust, but they love seeing him come. They're like, "Hey, John." I can actually see them wave to John because he's coming down the hall. And so they realize that's a safe environment for them and that John really cares about them and they can pretty much talk about whatever they want. And then to give you a little bit more knowledge, so with the Java music program, we had a resident who he had been someone who worked here at Windsor Mead, and he was like part of the staff because he, as you can see, engaged, entertained the residents, and I just loved working with him. So when he moved to our memory care household, I was curious as to how he would do. So I'm so happy to tell you, and I was happy to share with Christine that here we are. And not only does he get excited, but he got up out of his seat, he ran over to the piano, and he starts playing. Now, he might have a difficult time having a conversation, but music is so powerful. And with Christine's program, he was able to just kind of sit down. And now not only does he participate, but he wants to kind of be on that team. He wants to be part of the team again. And that's what we need. And so it's programs like Christine's that really make a big difference. So I appreciate you letting me take the time to just kind of share my thoughts on this today. And I hope that that's somewhat helpful. Thank you.
So now it's my turn. Thank you, Holly, for sharing your testimony, if you will, of your experience with the program. I think it goes hand in hand with the presentation that Christine gave. And thank you, Christine, of course, as always, for sharing a bit about Java. So I'm Betsy Archer. I'm the grants administrator for Leading Age Virginia. And we wanted to have this info session, as Dana told you, to let you know that we would be applying for an expansion of this program since we've had such great success in the first round. It would be for 2 years, and we would most likely begin in July of 2023. And I'll put a little asterisk next to that because our CMP cycle has not yet opened. So we're trying to get a little bit ahead of the curve to see if there's an interest to expand this to other sites. So this is where you come in. We have created a commitment form, and it's a preview is given on your screen. And if you are interested and you know you want to sign up, then you can fill out that commitment form, or you can actually put your name in the chat here today, the name of your nursing home community, and I will follow up via email with this form to you so that you can complete it. And as Dana mentioned at the beginning, this does not obligate you to participate. This indicates to CMS that there's a demonstrated need for this program in the Commonwealth, and we would include that with our application to show them that. And then after we were awarded, fingers crossed, right? We would then get in touch with you to formalize that commitment through a memorandum of understanding. And that would then, after that time, fully commit you to the program. So if you're ready now, you can go ahead and put your community's name into the chat, and I'll give you that commitment form this afternoon. If you still have questions, we're here. We have some time to answer those questions. So you can either put those in the chat, or you can come off mute, and Christine and I or Dana can help answer any questions, or if you have some questions for Holly about her experience as well.
Let us know your questions.
It sounded like Christine was trying to say something. I didn't hear it. I saw it, but I didn't hear
Okay,
it.
sorry. Thank you.
There
Let me
you
try
go.
that again. Yeah. Sorry, I was coughing a bit, and so I put the mic off. Yeah, I just wanted to say there's no silly questions, so if something isn't clear to you, please just ask away. If you haven't been involved in a CMP grant before, don't worry, we will help you. We'll help you navigate the whole thing. And I promise you that you'll be so happy with the Java programs. We have, so many communities that are already doing it and loving it. And it's such a gift because it literally does not cost you anything. The only investment that we ask is that you commit to working with the grant so that we can get the program implemented in your community, and everything else we help you with.
Hi, I have a question. This is Sam from Lake Prince Woods over in Suffolk. I may have missed it. Someone might have mentioned this already, but how long is the program? Is it the same thing as the Elder Grow garden project, what takes about 3 years, or how long is the program?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the Elder Grow program is for 3 years. It just takes longer to disseminate all that information. This one is for 2 years, and we would start most likely this summer and conclude in 2025.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and we've set it up that way to make it really easy to give you lots of time to implement the program. So if you have delays, if you have an outbreak, or, all the things that happen when you work in, nursing care in your nursing home, that we can adapt, and that's what the homes have done. I mean, you can imagine that we implemented these 30 homes right in the middle of COVID. In fact, it was right at the beginning of COVID, if I have the timelines right. So anyway, we just adapted, the royal we being all 30 homes and all of us, we just figured out how we could do all of this, and it went really well, so, and there were some delays for some homes, and that's okay. We helped them with it.
So another question, it's me again.
Great.
So can we commit to both the Elder Grow and Java projects simultaneously, or does it overlap, or how does that work?
I can take that one.
Okay.
So those are two completely separate programs, and any CMS certified nursing home can express interest to participate in both. If Leading Age Virginia is awarded both grants, the nursing homes that expressed interest in participating will be contacted to see if you want to continue, and you can participate in one or both.
Okay, thank you.
Is this also, I'm sorry, Dana.
No, go ahead.
Is this also going to be available to memory care?
So this particular grant is focused on the nursing home, And so while a nursing home is participating in it, it has to be beneficial to all nursing home residents. Once the nursing home finishes up participating in a grant cycle, they can keep all of their materials, and of course they will have had the training, and then it can be used in other levels of care.
So
Yeah, and we
along-
also,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry, I had a question. So along those same lines, because I noticed the grant programs are focused on the nursing home, skilled nursing home side. And although the pictures and all the slides for these, for us, it doesn't look like the same type of resident. For example, our nursing home side has a lot of hospice, late stage residents, some that are in the bed. So is this program adaptable to meet their needs, since it is a resident peer-to-peer for those type of residents, since this program is focused on the rehab and the long-term care side?
I think I'll let Dr. Toyer.
Yeah, yeah,
question.
that's right. Yeah, for sure. The program is the whole project is really magnificent because it can be implemented just in a nursing home if you wanted that, or if you were just a standalone nursing home. It's magnificent in there. If you have a continuum of care, then after the grant is over, you can spread it out throughout your organization. And that's what many homes are doing. So they start with, because of the grant purposes, they want to focus on the quality of life of nursing home residents. That's what the grant is for. But it's just for the reporting purposes. You need to keep it in that area, but then you can easily adapt it. So for example, there's some communities I know, they have 8 Java music clubs going every week throughout their community. They have 4 of the Java memory care, and they have 2 mentorship teams. And one of the mentorship teams deals with the nursing home residents. The other one is more focused on the independent living, retirement assisted living area. So whatever your community is, you can adapt these programs, and we can help you with that. You can ask us questions and we'll show you examples of how other communities have used these programs.
Okay, that's helpful. That's why Lori and Melissa are from Kings Grant as well. And that's why our hopes is to be able to bring it in on, like you said, on the nursing home side, and then be able to spread it throughout the other areas. So that's very helpful.
I think
Yeah.
one of your specific questions, Tammy, was could someone who's bedridden, if the acuity is of such that they may not be able to be in a group setting, could they
Right.
benefit?
Yes. Yeah. So the Java mentorship program is really designed for that. So they would, so we train the residents, the volunteers, depending on who you have on your mentorship team, how they can go about visiting. And then they set up a series of visits to the residents that are in the, who stay in their rooms, whether they're bed bound or they don't want to leave their rooms. That sometimes happens, right? So the wonderful thing is that they get some tips and tricks in the trainings that we give them on how, so they can kind of like do a mini Java music club group while they're visiting someone. So they go in pairs. So then there's 3 people in the room, and they can do like a little Java music program there. And we teach them how to do that.
And I will give kudos to Christine's team, because I have seen since my onboarding at Leading Age Virginia, just that this sometimes it is a one size fits all, and it does work, but Christine has really taken the time to make sure that it really does work as it should be in each of the nursing home communities that I've seen her interact with. So you will not be out there struggling alone. I can tell you that she's great at the one-on-one coaching or a group setting coaching and helping you through your challenges. And she's not shy about reaching out and offering to help. So we love that about her and our partnership with her.
Yeah, those are great questions. And I can tell you that, if you think, this all sounds wonderful, but it won't work in a nursing home setting or in skilled nursing, but I can tell you it's magnificent. The stories that I hear, the people that, like residents who never talk, they said, I gave them a talking stick and suddenly they opened up and all this stuff came out, or residents who were not able to see much, but they could still play the wind chimes in the Java memory care program. You would guide their hand across the wind chimes and this beautiful smile would break out. But the main thing is that we know that loneliness and depression goes down when people participate in peer support groups. And it's not just Java that has that happen. Peer support groups all over the world, we know that loneliness and depression goes down. And not only that, but happiness goes up. And that's really good to know. It isn't enough to just not be lonely and depressed, to know that we can actually increase the happiness of residents that participate in these programs is so good to know. And I don't know if you've ever been in a peer support group, but that feeling of camaraderie and that bonding that happens between residents, the most unlikely friendships develop in these peer support groups, just because they get to know each other. The emotional sharing, they learn this is a safe place where I can talk about what's really going on in here, unlike bingo, where I don't feel safe to share. So that's what happens then in the groups is not that that the problems go away, because maybe they're sharing about their grieving and missing their husband, right? Or, that it isn't that the problem goes away, but what happens is they're no longer alone with it because they're sharing it in this safe group setting. And that makes what feels unbearable suddenly becomes bearable. And that's why I think we've seen such great drops in loneliness and depression and increases in happiness.
So we are, it looks like
ahead.
we're coming up on time. Surprise, we put it for an hour just in case we needed a little bit more time for Q&A, but we will give you the gift of time back in your schedule if you don't have any questions. If you do, I'm going to go ahead and drop my name in the chat, or my email address in the chat, so you can be on the lookout for those commitment forms from this email address, so that it doesn't go to your spam folder or anything like that. And
Thank you.
if you have a question, Christine and I are happy to answer any now or offline.
Yeah, I really encourage you to jump in with both feet. I think you'll be very, very happy with it. And see immediate results. Even the very first Java Music Club, I've seen changes in residents just after one group. So you can imagine if you have that group going for 2 years, what can happen.
All right. Well, it seems like we are good to go. We must have covered everything so well that we don't have any questions. But if you do, let us know and we will be happy to answer them.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.